And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review, and today I'm reviewing Finding Forrester. I don't exactly remember when this movie was released. I think it was 2002, if I want to say correctly. I could be wrong though. But this is a movie, all right. I got a lot of thoughts on this movie. Well, I got some thoughts, but let's just jump right into it, shall we? It was weird. Honestly, it was weird seeing Sean Connery as not James Bond. Um, and then his name. He also sounds like a mad scientist in this movie with like kind of the way he talks, and it doesn't help that he kind of looks like a mad scientist. But honestly, his character is done pretty well. It is, like I said, it is definitely weird because like the only three Sean Connery films that I've seen now are James Bond, and this movie. So it's a little weird. But I mean, it's not anything. This next part's not anything against Sean Connery as his character, or I mean, I guess as a person, but it's more against his character, more against the writing for the film. There's a lot of racism in this movie. There's a lot of racism in this movie. Um, you know, how do I say this? That's what they intended, because then you want to go to the character growths of the character of Forrester, so that he's more accepting of people again and everything. But man, it is not subtle. It's pretty blatant racism that they just kind of throw out there at the beginning. It's a little risky nowadays. But I don't know. I mean, it's still somehow like I didn't like when I first saw that in the movie. I did not expect to really like Forrester as a character, but I end up like not hating him. Right? I don't like. I don't think he's a terrible character. Honestly, I could kind of root for him at the end of the film. Not really much. He's still other than that, he's just kind of an old boomer and just kind of a shut in because ego, kind of, but also just because things. And yeah, so, yeah, it's all right. Then we find out he dies. That was a wild turn of events that he just fucking dies. I did not expect that at all. Honestly, I thought it would have been even a good point to really end the movie when he's biking away. I thought that would have been a good point to end it and not include that last part. But it still works. I mean, it's not a terrible addition. It works. Um, yeah, like I said, no, I'm talking about Forrester's here. I keep talking about him as like he's the main character of this movie. He's not. Well, he's one of them. There's two main characters. There's the other guy, and I think their character development together, both going in different directions, and it's kind of how they bond. Everything, kind of their stuff like that works really, really well. In this movie, they have a great dynamic. That's the word I was looking for. Dynamic. They have a great character dynamic, and they bounce off each other well. And it works really, really well in this movie. So that was good to see. Some motherfucker, one of his friends, one of the other guy's friends, calls plagiarism an accomplishment. Huh? Huh? What? What the fuck? Why are you calling plagiarism an accomplishment? It's not an accomplishment. It's cheating. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, it pretty much is. Pretty much cheating. So, I don't know how you call that an accomplishment. Anyway. Um, I also think that teacher character at the end there is annoying. He honestly reminds me of a professor that I have in class right now. This will come out long after that class is over. Well, not long, probably about a month after that class ends, and probably will end up doing a video on that class as well, if I haven't already. At this point of it coming out, this video coming out, that teacher, I find a lot of similarities between that professor and the professor that I have, in a lot of different ways that I will probably tie back to. That I probably will tie back to in that video, because I do plan on making it, so I'm going to save a lot of the points for that video. So also Matt Damon makes a random cameo in this movie. I know this is before he became a big actor, so it's kind of cool to see him in kind of like a lower role, but it is a really like knowing, like watching it now and knowing how big of an actor he has become, and seeing him just kind of like pop in at the very end there for a little bit, it's definitely weird. And like I said, his whole part, I would have been honestly been okay if you cut that out. They didn't, obviously, but I could have been okay with that, and that's the only part that he would have been in. So, and the reason why I think they could have cut that point out, and probably my biggest complaint with this movie, is its pacing. This pacing is not good at all. It's a pretty long movie, but time wise, it's not far from the longest I've watched. So like time wise, it's fine, but it feels so much longer. It feels like a fucking 3.5 hour movie, pretty much. There's just so many uneventful scenes in the movie. It takes forever to finally get to Forrester. Once we finally get to Forrester, like I said, the interactions are cool, but they're few and far between even still, until like near the middle point in the movie, and then they pick up a little bit, and then they go away, and then but like the part leading up to Forrester is especially bad. That's the especially bad part, because the whole movie's called Finding Forrester. It takes a long fucking time to find him. Let's just say that. And I would have liked to go in maybe on a little bit more of his backstory and kind of do a little bit more development with that. There just does feel like to be a good amount of filler in this movie as well. And just a lot of, kind of like the very calm, quiet tone of this movie really just does not help as either, because it just draws it out. And I do not like that. So, ugh. Sorry. But otherwise, I mean, it's still an okay movie. It has a good message, I will say. It does have a good message. Respect everybody. Respect the evolution of the world. And, just kind of have to accept things are going to change, and we get to see that happen. It has a good message. That's good. And it's not a terrible movie. It's just a little boring for me. Lots of filler, like I said. The characters outside of the main two are really hard to get attached to, because there's not any of them. And when the ones are, most of the time, they're annoying as shit. So there's that too. But anyways, for my final score for Finding Forrester, I'm going to have to give it a good, I'm going to give it a 5. I would recommend watching it. It's got a good, like I said, it's got a good message. And if you like Sean Connery, I think you'll definitely like this movie. It's definitely a change from the James Bond movies, like I said. But otherwise, it's okay. But that's going to do it, though, for this review. If you've ever seen this movie, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.